If you're a sports fan, make sure you go check out SportsCastr for all of your sports news. Whether you are a Patriots fan or not, this is the perfect way to meet all of your sports needs and is a platform I personally use myself in case any of you guys want to catch me live talking about training camp recaps, etc. I'll leave a link in the description below. What is up, Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global back here with another video, and guys, the 53-man roster is finally here after all the offseason moves, free agency, trades, draft, all of that. We finally know who has made the 53-man roster. Before I start this one, if you guys would like to know all the transactions the Patriots made, meaning trades, releases, guys being placed on IR to end their season, in order for them to get down to 53 players for this 53-man roster, then go check out that video. There will be a link in the description below. Before I do get into this, I do want to make a very quick disclaimer, as this right now is the Patriots 53-man roster. It's confirmed, but remember that this is always subject to change because a lot of players have been released. And I'm not just talking about with the Patriots, I mean the entire league, and some surprising cuts were made, so I wouldn't be surprised at all to see the Patriots picking up some of these guys. They still have around $10 million, I believe, in available cap, and it's something that the Patriots seem to do on a yearly basis. So starting with quarterbacks, the Patriots will carry two this season, and that is going to be, of course, Tom Brady and rookie Jarrett Stidham. Props to Jarrett Stidham for being able to beat out, the veteran Brian Hoyer. That's a very big thing for him to do in his, really first year with the team, and in just an offseason, very impressive thing. Moving on to the running backs. Really, I got every single one of them right. Actually, I got all the quarterbacks right too, so I'm really proud of that. But the New England Patriots will carry 5 running backs. It's going to be Sony Michel, James White, Rex Burkhead, Damian Harris, and Brandon Bolden. Also, to add to that, the fullbacks. The Patriots are only going to carry one. Not shocking at all, and that's going to be James Devlin. As for wide receivers, New England is going to carry 7 wide receivers. Okay, they're going to carry Julian Edelman, no surprise there, starting slot receiver, Josh Gordon, Philip Dorsett, N'Keal Harry, Jacoby Myers, Gunnar Olszewski, and Matthew Slater. Really, the biggest surprise here is going to be the release of Demaryius Thomas. Now, if you watched my old video, then of course you know that I still said that I believe that the Patriots will bring back Demaryius Thomas, but nonetheless, the cut is a very surprising and risky move. I will be super curious to see how they really combine Josh Gordon and N'Keal Harry. I'll be also very curious to see how the heck they use Philip Dorsett. Because again, if you look at past history last season, then you'll know that Philip Dorsett started to become a main guy with the Patriots. Then Josh Gordon came to the team, and Philip Dorsett saw a loss in looks and also snap count. So I'll be curious to see how they really put him in the offense this upcoming season. Again, Jacoby Myers, the undrafted rookie making the team. That's going to be this year's undrafted rookie. Super proud of Jacoby Myers, and I'm super excited to see what he can do this upcoming season. Again, a lot of sparks compared to Malcolm Mitchell, and Malcolm Mitchell was a really good guy for the Patriots, so if he can really embody that, then that would be really good for New England. Really hope he can work out any kinks that he has with Tom Brady before the regular season starts. Gunnar Olszewski, of course, a guy that I had making the roster. He at first didn't make the roster, but then the Patriots traded Keon Cross, and they were like, hey, Gunnar, we know we just released you, but we're going to bring you back. And then, of course, Matthew Slater. This one is no surprise. He's going to make it. Now, on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list is Cameron Meredith. Okay, so the Patriots will be able to bring him back, I believe, Week 8 if they choose to do so. Week 8 or any time past that, but until then, he cannot be brought back. He's clearly still dealing with the injury that he had that really led the Saints to release him, and that's also why he started his tenure off with the Patriots on the PUP list. Really hope that at some point we'll be able to get to see him in a Patriots uniform and see what he can do. Now, moving on to the tight end position, New England is going to carry 2 tight ends for Week 2. That's going to be Matt LaCosse and Ryan Izzo, just like I kind of predicted in my last video for my 53-man roster video. Ryan Izzo is really going to be mainly a blocker for right now. We'll see if he and Brady can continue to stay on the same page in the passing game. But I could also see Ryan Izzo kind of just being a fill-in guy for right now, and then them releasing him, because suspended, they actually have 2 tight ends. Of course, we know Ben Watson is going to be suspended for the first 4 games of the regular season, but Lance Kendricks, he's also suspended for the first game of the regular season, so he will not be able to play versus the Steelers, but will be able to return after that for our game against the Dolphins, and I'm surprised Lance Kendricks made this team. Okay, he was a guy that I originally had the Patriots signing, and a lot of you gave me heat for it, and a lot of you even gave me heat for saying that he could make the roster, and I mean, I kind of laughing now that the fact that he did, but it does even surprise me, just kind of because how he played. He was kind of having some issues, and then him getting suspended, I just kind of thought things were going a little downhill for him, but apparently it didn't, and Bill Belichick wants to keep him despite him being suspended week 1. So likely what you're going to look at tight end-wise, at least for right now, is going to be Matt LaCosse, Ben Watson, Lance Kendricks, and Ryan Izzo if they do keep him on the team. Again, he might just be a fill-in guy for week 1, maybe also until week 5 for when Ben Watson comes back. But of course, the Patriots were not just going to keep one tight end on the active roster. Just like always, I guess tight end is going to be a position that we continue to watch with the Patriots. Moving on to the offensive line. As for the offensive tackles, New England is going to carry 3. That is going to be Marcus Cannon, Isaiah Wynn, and Corey Cunningham. I predicted just that, so there's no surprise there. Starting on the NFI list is going to be Yanni Kajust. I just don't see him coming back. And it makes a lot of sense that the Patriots wouldn't want to waste a roster spot on him. As for guards, New England will also carry 3 of those. That's going to be Shaq Mason, Joe Thuney, and Jermaine Illuminor. As for the centers, New England is going to carry 2. That's going to be Ted Karras and Russell Bodine. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball, which I think is going to be one of the more hype parts of the fan base and what you guys, a lot of you at least, are looking forward to hearing. So as for the defensive ends, New England is going to keep 5 of them. That's going to be Michael Bennett, John Simon, Chase Winovich, Dietrich Wise, and Shalik Calhoun. And I'm very happy for Shalik. To me, it was really that battle between Shalik and Derek Rivers. Ultimately, I had none of them getting picked just because I was like, I don't know. So I kind of just said both of them are going to get cut. But in the end, Shalik won. And if there was a battle between the two, then I'm really not that surprised that Shalik got picked. As for the other 4 guys, Michael Bennett, John Simon, Chase Winovich, and Dietrich Wise, not a surprise that any of those made them, but Shalik was definitely the most notable one here on the defensive end list, and probably also on the entire defensive side of the list. Towards the end of camp, he started doing a lot of good things. He did a lot of good things, I feel, also in preseason. Of course, then he got injured, and that kind of set him back a little bit. But I'm excited to see kind of what the Patriots do with him going forward, and do they really utilize him? He is a special teams player also, so he does have that versatility. When he was with the Oakland Raiders, he was really good for them in the preseason, but couldn't bring it to the regular season. So I'll be curious to see if he's able to do that with the Patriots, or if his past is going to just continue. As for the defensive tackles, New England is going to carry 4. That's going to be Lawrence Guy, Adam Butler, Danny Shelton, and Byron Coward. Super happy that Byron Coward was able to make this team in the beginning of the offseason and, post-draft. I didn't think that he was going to make it, but he ended up going out there, shining, and doing some really good things, and I'm really excited to see how he does in this upcoming season. Moving on to linebackers, New England's going to keep 5. That's going to be Dante Hightower, Kyle Van Noy, Jamie Collins, Jawan Bentley, and Landon Roberts. No surprise here. I originally thought Landon Roberts could be a guy that New England decides to trade, with the upcoming players in Jamie Collins, and of course, Jawan Bentley. Not even to mention Dante Hightower and Kyle Van Noy. I thought that Landon Roberts just could be a guy that gets traded in contract year. The question is definitely still not out for that to be able to happen, but right now, he is still with the team. Moving on to cornerback, and this list has definitely changed for New England. They had quite a few guys on this list originally, and it was going to be hard for them to cut and get this cornerback group really limited down, but they did it. They're going to carry just 5 cornerbacks on this team. That's going to be Stephon Gilmore, Jason McCourty, Jonathan Jones, J.C. Jackson, and Juwan Williams. That meaning Keon Cross and, Duke Dawson, Ken Webster, they are all gone. Now on to safeties, and this is going to be one that makes a lot of people happy, including me when I saw it. New England's going to keep 6 safeties on this upcoming season. Interesting that they're actually carrying more safeties than cornerbacks, but at the same time, Nate Ebner's on this list, and he doesn't actually play safety. But they're going to keep Devin McCourty, Patrick Chung, Daron Harmon, Terrence Brooks, and Obi Melifonwu. And then, of course, like I said, Nate Ebner. And you could tell by my voice that the biggest one here is going to be Obi Melifonwu. Devin McCourty, Patrick Chung, Daron Harmon, and Terrence Brooks. To me, those guys were all locks. My biggest question was going to be Obi Melifonwu, and what the heck are the Patriots going to do with him? Okay, they signed him to a 2-year deal really in the middle of last season. That was when the Oakland Raiders decided to release him. They played him a little bit last season, but other than that, he kind of just went inactive for the Patriots. He did a lot of good things in training camp, especially when it came to making interceptions. I think he might have had the most interceptions out of all of the guys by the end of training camp. A lot of these interceptions came up by guys deflecting the balls, and then Obi Melifonwu getting the tips off of those deflected balls, and that could be a really good thing. Guys like Devin McCourty, Patrick Chung, and Terrence Brooks, those are all guys that are really good with deflections. And if you have guys like Daron Harmon and Obi Melifonwu in there near them, then you're definitely going to be able to get turnovers. Super excited to see Obi Melifonwu this upcoming season. I'm going to be curious if they look to actually play him, or if he's going to be more of a backup type of role, insurance in case one of these safeties gets hurt, or in case something goes wrong with this whole Patrick Chung case. All in all, though, super stoked that Obi got to make this roster. Now, as for the specialists on the team, these are already guys that you knew were going to make the roster. There's 3 of those. That's Steven Gostkowski as the kicker, Jake Bailey as the punter, and Joe Cardona as our long snapper. And that is going to be your 2019-2020 Patriots 53-man roster. Now, this is definitely subject to change. I guarantee you this will not be your 53-man roster by the end of the season. There will be some changes made. I wouldn't even be surprised that the day of this video that there are some changes made. But in the end, as their first off 53-man roster for the season, this is who you got. And this is really who is mostly going to start week 1. But that is it for today's video. Make sure you guys leave me your thoughts in the comments below. Who were some shocking guys that you weren't expecting to make this roster, and how do you feel about this roster for the upcoming season? Again, let me know in the comments below. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe, because we are going to have a crazy season, and you're going to want to know all the videos I post for the upcoming season. Make sure you guys also like this video, as it really helps me and the channel out a lot, and me producing more videos just like this one. Make sure you guys share this video with everybody you know so we can go to the Patriots Global family. And other than that, I will catch you guys in another video.